Why wolves never bark like dogs? You've heard a dog bark thousands of times. Maybe your neighbor's dog barks every morning. Maybe your own dog barks at the mailman. Barking feels completely normal to us. But here's something that might surprise you. Wolves, the wild ancestors of every single dog on Earth, almost never bark. And when they do, it sounds nothing like what you'd expect. So why is that? Why did dogs become the loudest animals in our homes, while wolves stayed mostly silent in the wild? The answer goes much deeper than you think. Let's go back to the beginning. Wolves have been walking this earth for millions of years. Long before humans built cities, long before we had farms or fences, wolves were already out there, running through forests, crossing frozen tundra, hunting across wide open plains. They're one of the most successful animals in history. And one of the biggest reasons for that success is something most people never think about: the way they communicate. Wolves don't talk the way we do. They don't use words. But they are constantly sending messages to each other. Through their bodies. Through their eyes. Through their posture. And most powerfully, through sound. But not barking. Something much more complex than that. Here's something very few people know. Wolves actually can bark. They're physically able to make that sound. But researchers who have spent years studying wolves in the wild say that barking is extremely rare. When it does happen, it's almost always a short, sharp alarm call. Something like a warning, a sudden danger nearby. A predator. A human. A threat. The bark is quick. It's quiet compared to a dog's bark. And it happens maybe once or twice, then stops completely. So why don't wolves bark more? Because in the wild, being loud can get you killed. Think about it this way. Wolves are predators. They spend huge amounts of energy hunting large animals like elk, moose, and deer. These animals are fast, powerful, and dangerous. To catch them, wolves need to move quietly. They need to communicate without giving themselves away. A loud, repeated bark would alert every animal in the area. The hunt would be over before it started. Silence, in the wolf world, is a survival tool. But that's only part of the story. The sound most people connect with wolves is the howl. And there's a reason for that. Howling is one of the most powerful long-distance communication tools in the entire animal kingdom. A wolf's howl can travel up to 6 miles, and some researchers believe even farther in the right conditions. That's not a small thing. Wolves live in territories that can cover hundreds of square miles. They can't always see each other. They can't always stay together. So howling is how they stay connected across huge distances. When a wolf howls, it's sending information. It might be saying, "I'm here. This is my territory. Where are you? Come back. I'm alone. Danger is close." Different howls carry different meanings, and pack members recognize each other's voices. Just like you would recognize the voice of someone you love, even on a bad phone call, wolves can identify individual pack members just from the sound of their howl. And here's what's truly incredible. When a pack howls together, they don't all howl on the same note. Each wolf finds its own pitch, its own tone. The result is a layered, haunting sound that's almost musical. Scientists believe this might actually make the pack sound larger and more powerful than it is. Like a natural trick. It confuses rival packs about how many wolves are in the group. What happened next in wolf evolution surprised researchers for years. At some point, probably between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, though scientists are still debating the exact timing, something happened between wolves and humans. Some wolves began approaching human campsites. Not to attack, but to scavenge. To eat the scraps and bones that humans left behind. The bolder, less fearful wolves got closer. Got more food. Survived better. And slowly, over many generations, something began to change. Those wolves started to change not just in behavior, but in their bodies. In their faces. In their brains. The domestication, that's the process of wild animals slowly becoming tame and living with humans, had begun. And over thousands of years, those wolves became dogs. But here's the part that really changes how you think about this. Dogs didn't just learn to live with humans. They evolved to communicate with us. Specifically, Dogs develop the ability to read human faces in a way that even our closest relatives, chimpanzees, cannot fully do. Dogs look at where humans look. They follow our pointing fingers. They understand our emotions. They evolved to live inside our social world. And barking? Barking is a huge part of that. Puppies bark far more than adult wolves ever do. And researchers now believe that dogs essentially stayed in a kind of permanent puppy-like state, not fully maturing the way wolves do. This is called neoteny, which simply means keeping youthful features into adulthood. Dogs keep puppy sounds, puppy faces, and puppy social behaviors. That includes barking. A lot of barking. Dogs bark to get your attention. They bark when they're excited, when they're scared, when they're bored, when they want food, when someone knocks on the door. They bark because barking works with humans. We respond. We react. We give them what they need. Barking became a tool, a way for dogs to communicate with us specifically. Wolves don't need that tool. They have each other. They have a whole system: howling, whining, growling, body language, eye contact, tail position, ear position, all working together in a language that's incredibly precise. Wolves can say complex things without making a single sound. A stiff tail, a lowered head, a direct stare, these things communicate status, mood, and intention instantly. Here's something very few people know. Wolf communication isn't just about sounds. Wolves leave scent marks, chemical messages, all across their territory. These scent marks carry information about who the wolf is, how healthy it is, whether it's ready to mate, and how recently it was in that location. Other wolves can read these messages days later, like reading a note someone left for you. It's a communication system that works even when the wolves are miles apart and completely silent. The intelligence behind this is remarkable. Wolves don't just react. They plan. They remember. They understand social rules. In a wolf pack, every member has a role. The experienced adults lead hunts. The younger wolves learn by watching. Injured or older pack members are often fed by others. There are even cases documented by researchers where pack members waited for a disabled wolf before moving on. Whether that's compassion in the way we feel it, scientists are careful to say they don't know for certain. But the behavior is real. Wolves also teach us something about loyalty. A wolf pack is almost always a family. A mated pair and their offspring. They stay together for years. They raise pups together. They defend each other. The idea of a pack as a group of competing, fighting wolves, with one dominant wolf constantly forcing others to submit, is actually a myth, mostly based on old studies of captive wolves forced to live with strangers. In the wild, wolf packs function more like a family than an army. That's the real wolf. Not a monster. Not a killer. A highly intelligent, deeply social, emotionally connected animal that has walked this earth long before we did. And those dogs sleeping at your feet right now, they carry that history inside them. Every time your dog whines to go outside, or barks at a squirrel, or howls along to a song, they're using a version of the same ancient communication system. Just adapted, over thousands of years, to fit into your world instead of the wild one. Wolves stayed wild. Dogs chose, or were chosen, to walk beside us. And both of them, in their own way, are extraordinary. If this story made you see wolves and dogs a little differently, share it with someone who loves animals. And if you want more stories like this one, stories about the hidden lives of incredible animals, subscribe. There's so much more waiting for you.